Hello, and welcome to the Mindful Zone. I'm so glad you're here. Today we embark on a journey toward inner peace, calmness, and clarity. Life can feel overwhelming at times, can't it? Between work deadlines, family responsibilities, financial pressures, and the constant buzz of our devices, it's easy to get caught up in worry, stress, and anxiety. But what if there was a way to step back from all that noise and find a sense of stillness within yourself? What if you could learn to relax more deeply, stop worrying unnecessarily, and approach life with greater ease? That's exactly what we'll explore together today. This video is inspired by 10 profound yet accessible teachings from Buddhism. Teachings that have stood the test of time and continue to offer guidance for modern lives. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical tools you can use every day to cultivate mindfulness, reduce stress, and improve your overall well-being. Whether you're new to these concepts or already familiar with meditation and mindfulness, this video is designed to be warm, welcoming, and supportive. Think of it as a gentle conversation, a space where you can pause, breathe, and reflect. Now, before we dive in, let me remind you of something important. You don't need any special equipment, prior knowledge, or even hours of free time to benefit from what we're about to explore. All you need is an open heart and a willingness to try something new. And remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. So take a moment now to settle into wherever you are. If you're sitting, notice how your body feels against the chair or cushion. If you're lying down, feel the support of the surface beneath you. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Good. Let's do that one more time. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold it for just a second, and release it gently through your mouth. Beautiful. You're already practicing mindfulness. Throughout this video, I'll guide you through each teaching step by step, offering reflections and exercises along the way. Feel free to pause whenever you need to think, to journal, or simply to sit quietly with what resonates for you. This is your time, your space, and your journey. There's no rush. So why focus on Buddhist teachings? Well, while Buddhism has its roots in ancient traditions, its wisdom speaks directly to the challenges we face today. It reminds us that suffering is part of life, but also that there are ways to navigate it skillfully. By embracing mindfulness, compassion, and self-awareness, we can transform not only how we relate to ourselves, but also how we interact with the world around us. Are you ready? Over the next 2 hours, we'll explore 10 powerful teachings: impermanence, non-attachment, mindfulness, compassion, letting go of judgment, gratitude, patience, forgiveness, equanimity, and interconnectedness. Each chapter will build upon the last, creating a tapestry of understanding that you can weave into your daily life. Let's take another deep breath together. Inhale peace, exhale tension. One more time. Inhale calm, exhale worry. Perfect. Now let's begin our exploration. Chapter 1, the impermanence of all things. One of the most foundational teachings in Buddhism is the concept of impermanence, or anicca in Pali, the language of early Buddhist texts. At its core, impermanence reminds us that nothing lasts forever. Everything, every thought, emotion, relationship, season, even our own bodies, is constantly changing. While this might sound unsettling at first, it's actually incredibly liberating when we truly understand it. This teaching invites us to see life as a dynamic, ever-flowing river, rather than a static, unchanging photograph. By embracing impermanence, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of peace and acceptance. Let's start by looking at the natural world, which serves as a perfect metaphor for impermanence. Consider the seasons. Spring bursts forth with new life, blossoms appear on trees, birds sing, and the earth seems to awaken from its slumber. Summer follows, bringing warmth, growth, and abundance. Then comes autumn, with its vibrant colors and falling leaves, signaling the gradual winding down of the year. Finally, winter arrives, a time of stillness, rest, and dormancy. Each season flows seamlessly into the next, creating an endless cycle of change. Yet despite this constant movement, there's a profound beauty in the way nature adapts and transforms. Now, think about the stars above us. They burn brightly for millions, even billions of years, yet eventually they too will fade away. Rivers carve paths through mountains, shaping the landscape over centuries. Even the air we breathe shifts and moves, carrying scents, temperatures, and energy from one place to another. Change is woven into the very fabric of existence itself. It's unavoidable, inevitable, and universal. And yet, despite this undeniable truth, many of us struggle to accept impermanence in our personal lives. Why is that? Often it's because we cling to things, whether they're people, possessions, jobs, or identities, as though they'll always remain the same. We want certainty in an uncertain world, but clinging creates suffering. When we resist change, we fight against the very nature of reality. Imagine trying to hold on to water in your hands. It slips through your fingers, no matter how tightly you grip. Similarly, resisting impermanence only leads to frustration and pain. The harder we try to control or preserve something, the more acutely we feel its loss when it inevitably changes or fades. Instead, what if we embraced impermanence? What if we saw change not as something to fear, but as an opportunity for growth, renewal, and transformation? For example, consider a challenging situation you faced recently. Maybe it was a disagreement with a loved one, a setback at work, or a health issue. At the time, it probably felt overwhelming, unending. But looking back now, can you see how it passed? How things shifted, resolved, or evolved in unexpected ways? That's impermanence in action. Even the most difficult moments in life are temporary. They may leave scars or lessons behind, but they don't define us forever. Accepting impermanence doesn't mean becoming indifferent to life's joys and sorrows. Quite the opposite. It means savoring moments more fully because we know they won't last. Have you ever watched a sunset and felt a pang of sadness knowing it would soon disappear? That bittersweet feeling arises precisely because we recognize its fleeting beauty. The same principle applies to relationships, achievements, and everyday pleasures. By acknowledging their transience, we appreciate them even more deeply. A meal shared with loved ones becomes richer when we realize such moments are rare and precious. A child's laughter rings clearer when we understand that childhood is a brief chapter in their life story. Impermanence heightens our awareness of the present moment, urging us to live more fully and mindfully. Here's an exercise to help you connect with impermanence. Choose something small in your environment, a flower, a cup of tea, or even your breath, and observe it closely. Notice its details, textures, scents, movements. If it's a flower, admire the delicate petals, the way they catch the light, the subtle fragrance they release. Then remind yourself, this too will pass. Does that realization make you cherish it more, or does it bring a sense of peace, knowing that whatever difficulty you're facing will also pass? This simple practice can shift your perspective, helping you embrace both the beauty and the brevity of life. Impermanence teaches us to let go, not out of apathy, but out of love. Love for ourselves, for others, and for the ever-changing flow of life. When we release our tight grip on outcomes, expectations, and attachments, we create space for grace, surprise, and possibility. We learn to dance with life instead of wrestling with it. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that life will unfold as it's meant to, even if we can't see the bigger picture right now. It means allowing ourselves to be carried by the current rather than fighting against it. Take a moment to reflect on impermanence in your own life. Where are you holding on too tightly? What fears or worries stem from resistance to change? Are you clinging to a particular identity, role, or outcome? Can you soften your grip just a little? Remember, impermanence isn't a threat, it's a gift, a reminder that nothing stays the same forever, including pain, loss, and hardship. Whatever you're going through right now, Trust that it will transform in time. Just as storms give way to clear skies, so too will your challenges eventually ease. Think about the people in your life. Relationships evolve over time, sometimes growing closer, sometimes drifting apart. Friendships ebb and flow, romantic partnerships shift, and family dynamics change. Rather than mourning these transitions, what if you celebrated them? What if you recognized that every phase of connection has its own unique beauty? By embracing impermanence, we can approach our relationships with greater openness and gratitude, knowing that each interaction is a fleeting yet meaningful part of the larger tapestry of our lives. The same is true for our emotions. Feelings come and go like clouds passing across the sky. One moment, we may feel joy, the next, sadness or anger. These emotions are not permanent states. They arise, linger for a while, and then dissolve. Understanding this helps us navigate our inner worlds with more compassion and less reactivity. Instead of identifying with our emotions, we can observe them with curiosity and detachment, knowing they won't last forever. This awareness gives us the freedom to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Finally, impermanence reminds us of our mortality. While this may seem morbid, it's actually a powerful motivator to live authentically and wholeheartedly. Knowing that our time is limited encourages us to prioritize what truly matters, to spend our days doing work that fulfills us, nurturing relationships that nourish us, and pursuing passions that ignite our spirit. Life's fleeting nature makes it all the more precious. Every sunrise, every conversation, every act of kindness takes on added significance when viewed through the lens of impermanence. As we wrap up this exploration of impermanence, I invite you to carry this teaching with you throughout your day. Notice the ways in which change manifests around you, in the weather, in your thoughts, in your interactions with others. Remind yourself that everything is in flux, and that's okay. In fact, it's beautiful. Because without impermanence, there would be no sunrise after the darkest night, no laughter after tears, no hope after despair. Life unfolds moment by moment, and each moment is precious precisely because it won't last forever. Embrace this truth and watch how it transforms your perspective. Chapter 2. Non-attachment. One of the most transformative teachings in Buddhism is non-attachment. At first glance, this concept might seem confusing or even contradictory. After all, attachment often feels like love, care, or passion, qualities we associate with positive emotions and meaningful connections. But non-attachment isn't about rejecting these things. Rather, it's about cultivating a healthier relationship with them. It's about learning to appreciate without clinging, to love without possessing, and to engage with life fully while remaining open to its natural flow. To understand non-attachment, let's first clarify what attachment actually means. Attachment refers to our tendency to cling tightly to people, possessions, outcomes, or ideas. We attach ourselves to specific roles we play in life, parent, partner, employee, or to external markers of success like wealth, status, or achievements. We become attached to how others perceive us, to certain routines or comforts, and even to our own self-image. While some level of connection is natural and necessary, attachment becomes problematic when it leads to fear, anxiety, or suffering. Why? Because attachment assumes permanence, and as we explored in the previous chapter, nothing in life is permanent. When we're overly attached, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Think about a time when you desperately wanted something, a job promotion, a romantic relationship, or validation from someone else, and felt crushed when it didn't work out the way you hoped. That pain stemmed not from the situation itself, but from your attachment to a particular outcome. The same applies to relationships. Have you ever loved someone so much that the thought of losing them filled you with unbearable fear? Paradoxically, that fear can strain the very bond you cherish. By clinging too tightly, we inadvertently create distance instead of closeness. Non-attachment, on the other hand, invites us to loosen our grip, not because we don't care, but because caring deeply requires flexibility. Imagine holding sand in your hand. If you squeeze it tightly, the grains slip through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, allowing space between your palms, the sand stays put. Non-attachment works similarly. It's about creating room for life to unfold naturally, without forcing it into a rigid mold. When we release our need to control every detail, we allow joy, peace, and connection to flourish organically. Let's explore how non-attachment plays out in different areas of life. First, consider material possessions. In today's consumer-driven world, it's easy to equate happiness with acquiring more stuff. New clothes, gadgets, cars, homes. Yet no matter how many items we accumulate, the satisfaction they bring is fleeting. This is because objects themselves are impermanent. They break, wear out, lose value, or eventually bore us. True contentment comes not from owning things, but from appreciating their utility without becoming dependent on them. A simple practice to cultivate non-attachment to possessions is to periodically declutter your space. As you sort through belongings, ask yourself, do I truly need this? Does it serve a purpose or bring me genuine joy? Letting go of unnecessary clutter creates physical and mental space for what truly matters. Next, let's talk about relationships. One of the most common areas where attachment causes suffering. Loving someone deeply doesn't mean possessing them or expecting them to fulfill all your emotional needs. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect, trust, and freedom. Non-attachment allows both parties to grow individually while nurturing the shared connection. For example, imagine being in a partnership where you give each other permission to pursue personal goals, make mistakes, and evolve over time. There's no demand for perfection or constant reassurance, just an understanding that change is inevitable and growth is essential. This kind of relationship fosters resilience and adaptability, qualities that strengthen bonds rather than weaken them. Now, let's turn our attention to expectations, an insidious form of attachment that often goes unnoticed. Expectations shape how we view ourselves, others, and the world around us. We expect certain behaviors from friends, family members, or colleagues. We expect life to follow a predictable trajectory, education, career, marriage, retirement, all neatly lined up like dominoes. But reality rarely conforms to these plans, leading to frustration and disillusionment when things don't go as expected. Practicing non-attachment means letting go of rigid expectations and embracing uncertainty. Instead of demanding that life adhere to our script, we learn to navigate its twists and turns with grace and curiosity. This shift in mindset transforms challenges into opportunities for growth and discovery. Another area where non-attachment proves invaluable is in dealing with emotions. Like clouds drifting across the sky, feelings arise, linger for a while, and then dissipate. When we attach ourselves to emotions, whether positive or negative, we prolong their impact unnecessarily. For instance, clinging to happiness can lead to fear of loss, while obsessing over sadness can trap us in despair. Non-attachment encourages us to observe our emotions without judgment, acknowledging their presence without identifying with them. This detachment empowers us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, fostering emotional intelligence and resilience. So how do we cultivate non-attachment in daily life? One effective method is mindfulness meditation. During meditation, we train ourselves to observe thoughts, sensations, and emotions as they come and go without getting caught up in them. Over time, this practice helps us develop a sense of spaciousness, a buffer between stimulus and response. Rather than reacting automatically to triggers, we gain the ability to pause, reflect, and choose our actions consciously. Mindfulness also teaches us to focus on the present moment, reducing preoccupation with past regrets or future anxieties, two major sources of attachment. Another powerful tool is gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have, fostering a sense of abundance and contentment. When we express gratitude for the people, experiences, and blessings in our lives, we naturally let go of the urge to grasp for more. Gratitude reminds us that everything we experience is temporary, encouraging us to savor moments fully without clinging to them. Non-attachment extends beyond individuals to encompass broader societal issues as well. Consider environmental sustainability. Our attachment to convenience, comfort and consumption has led to widespread ecological damage. By practicing non-attachment to excessive materialism, we can adopt simpler, more sustainable lifestyles that honor the planet and future generations. Similarly, non-attachment to ideologies, beliefs, or cultural norms promotes openness and inclusivity, breaking down barriers that divide us. Finally, non-attachment is closely tied to spiritual growth. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of detaching from ego, the part of us that craves recognition, validation, and control. Ego-driven behavior often leads to conflict, comparison, and dissatisfaction. By letting go of ego-based attachments, we align ourselves with higher values like compassion, humility, and interconnectedness. This alignment fosters a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment, transcending superficial concerns. As we conclude this exploration of non-attachment, I invite you to reflect on its implications for your own life. Where are you holding on too tightly? Are there patterns of attachment causing unnecessary stress or suffering? Can you envision letting go, not out of resignation, but out of wisdom? Remember, non-attachment isn't about indifference or disengagement. It's about engaging with life wholeheartedly while remaining flexible and open to change. It's about trusting that life will unfold as it's meant to, even if the path looks different from what we imagined. By embracing non-attachment, we free ourselves from the burdens of expectation and fear, stepping into a state of profound peace and liberation. Chapter 3: Mindfulness in Every Moment. One of the most accessible and transformative practices offered by Buddhism is mindfulness. At its essence, mindfulness is about paying attention, fully and without judgment, to the present moment. It's a simple concept, yet it holds immense power to transform how we experience life. By cultivating mindfulness, we can reduce stress, enhance our well-being, and deepen our connection to ourselves and the world around us. In this chapter, we'll explore what mindfulness truly means, why it matters, and how you can integrate it into your daily life. To begin, let's clarify what mindfulness isn't. Mindfulness isn't about achieving some lofty state of enlightenment or forcing yourself to feel calm all the time. It's not about escaping from reality or suppressing difficult emotions. Instead, mindfulness is about showing up fully for whatever is happening right now, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, exciting or mundane. It's about being present with curiosity and compassion, rather than getting lost in thoughts about the past or worries about the future. Mindfulness begins with awareness. Think about how often your mind drifts away during everyday activities. You might eat breakfast while scrolling through your phone, drive to work on autopilot, or sit in a meeting but mentally replay an argument from yesterday. These moments of distraction are natural. They happen to everyone, but they also disconnect us from our lives. We miss out on the richness of the present moment because we're preoccupied with other things. Mindfulness invites us to reclaim those moments by bringing our attention back to what's happening here and now. So how do we practice mindfulness? The foundation lies in focusing on our breath. Our breath is always with us, serving as a reliable anchor to the present moment. To start, find a comfortable position, sitting, standing, or lying down, and close your eyes if that feels safe. Take a few deep breaths, inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling gently through your mouth. Then allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. Notice how the air feels cool as it enters your nostrils and warm as it leaves. Feel your chest rise and fall, or the subtle expansion and contraction of your belly. If your mind wanders, and it will, that's okay. Simply acknowledge the thought without judgment and gently bring your focus back to your breath. This process of returning to the breath builds resilience and strengthens your ability to stay present. Breath awareness is just one way to practice mindfulness. Another powerful method involves using your senses. Throughout the day, pause periodically and tune into what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. For example, if you're drinking tea, notice the warmth of the cup in your hands, the aroma rising from the liquid, the flavor as it touches your tongue. Engage all your senses fully, savoring each detail. This sensory immersion anchors you in the present moment, grounding you amidst life's distractions. Mindfulness isn't confined to formal meditation sessions. It can be woven into every aspect of your day. Consider routine tasks like brushing your teeth, washing dishes, or walking to the store. These activities may seem ordinary, but they offer countless opportunities to practice presence. As you wash dishes, feel the water against your skin, listen to the sound it makes as it hits the sink, and notice the texture of the sponge. When you walk, pay attention to the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the rhythm of your steps, the sights and sounds around you. By infusing these moments with mindfulness, you turn them into mini meditations, creating pockets of peace throughout your day. Now let's talk about why mindfulness matters so much in today's fast-paced world. Modern life bombards us with stimuli, from endless notifications on our phones to packed schedules and constant multitasking. Our brains are wired to seek efficiency, which often leads to operating on autopilot. While this might seem productive, it actually diminishes our quality of life. When we rush through experiences without truly engaging with them, we rob ourselves of joy, meaning, and connection. Mindfulness counters this tendency by slowing us down and inviting us to savor life's details. Beyond enhancing enjoyment, mindfulness has profound benefits for mental health. Studies show that regular mindfulness practice reduces symptoms of anxiety, depression, and stress. It does this by helping us regulate our emotions more effectively. When we observe our thoughts and feelings without attaching to them, we create distance between ourselves and our inner turmoil. This detachment allows us to respond to challenges with greater clarity and calmness, rather than reacting impulsively out of fear or frustration. Mindfulness also fosters self-awareness, a key ingredient for personal growth. By tuning into our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations, we gain insight into patterns that shape our behavior. For instance, you might notice recurring negative self-talk or tension in your body triggered by certain situations. Once you become aware of these patterns, you can begin to address them consciously. Self-awareness empowers you to make choices aligned with your values, rather than acting on autopilot or succumbing to external pressures. Another remarkable aspect of mindfulness is its ripple effect on relationships. When we're fully present with others, we communicate more authentically and empathetically. Listening becomes deeper because we're not distracted by our own thoughts or planning what to say next. Presence conveys respect and care, strengthening bonds and fostering trust. Whether you're having a casual conversation with a friend or navigating a conflict with a loved one, mindfulness enhances the quality of your interactions. Of course, practicing mindfulness consistently takes effort, especially when life gets busy. Distractions abound and old habits die hard, but remember, mindfulness is a skill, one that improves with practice. Start small. Deduce 5 minutes each day to focus on your breath or engage in a mindful activity like eating or walking. Gradually increase the duration as you build confidence and comfort. Over time, mindfulness will seep into other areas of your life, becoming second nature. It's important to note that mindfulness doesn't eliminate difficulties or shield us from pain. Life inevitably brings challenges, losses, and uncertainties. However, mindfulness equips us to face these realities with courage and grace. Instead of resisting or avoiding discomfort, we learn to meet it head-on, acknowledging it as part of the human experience. This acceptance softens suffering, enabling us to navigate adversity with greater resilience. Let's delve deeper into some practical techniques for cultivating mindfulness. One popular exercise is the body scan. Lie down or sit comfortably and bring your attention to different parts of your body, starting from your toes and moving upward to the crown of your head. Notice any sensations you encounter: tingling, warmth, tightness, relaxation, without trying to change anything. This practice helps you reconnect with your physical self and release tension stored in your muscles. Another technique is mindful journaling. Set aside a few minutes each day to write freely about your thoughts and feelings. Don't worry about grammar or structure. Simply let your words flow onto the page. Journaling clears mental clutter and provides a space for reflection, helping you process emotions and gain perspective. For those who enjoy movement, mindful yoga or Tai Chi can be incredibly grounding. These practices combine physical postures with breath awareness, promoting harmony between body and mind. Even gentle stretching exercises done with intention can cultivate mindfulness. Finally, consider incorporating mindfulness reminders into your environment. Place sticky notes with prompts like breathe, notice, or be here now in visible spots around your home or workspace. Use alarms or apps to send periodic notifications, encouraging you to pause and check in with yourself. These cues serve as gentle nudges to return to the present moment. As we wrap up this exploration of mindfulness, I invite you to embrace it as a lifelong journey. There's no finish line, no perfect endpoint. Mindfulness is a practice, a continual unfolding of awareness and presence. Each moment offers a fresh opportunity to start anew, to come home to yourself, and to connect deeply with life as it unfolds. Whether you're sipping coffee, hugging a loved one, or gazing at the stars, mindfulness transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It reminds us that life happens in the now, not in the past or future, but in the sacred space of this very instant. Carry this teaching forward. Mindfulness is available to you anytime, anywhere. All it takes is a willingness to pay attention, to breathe, to notice, to be. By doing so, you open yourself to a richer, fuller existence, one marked by peace, joy, and authenticity. Chapter 4: Compassion for Yourself and Others. One of the most profound teachings in Buddhism is compassion, a boundless, unconditional love that extends to all beings, including ourselves. Compassion lies at the heart of spiritual practice, offering a path to healing, connection, and inner peace. Yet, despite its importance, many of us struggle to cultivate genuine compassion, especially toward ourselves. In this chapter, we'll explore what compassion truly means, why it's essential for well-being, and how you can nurture it in your daily life. To begin, let's clarify what compassion is and what it isn't. Compassion is not simply feeling sorry for someone or offering sympathy from a distance. It goes deeper than that. Compassion arises when we recognize suffering, whether our own or another's, and respond with kindness, understanding, and a desire to alleviate pain. It's an active force, rooted in empathy and fueled by love. Importantly, compassion doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior or ignoring boundaries. Rather, it allows us to hold space for others' humanity while maintaining healthy limits. At its core, compassion begins with self-compassion. This might sound counterintuitive. After all, shouldn't we prioritize caring for others? While generosity toward others is vital, neglecting ourselves creates imbalance. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same warmth, patience, and care that we'd extend to a dear friend. It means acknowledging our struggles without judgment and reminding ourselves that imperfection is part of being human. When we embrace self-compassion, we stop seeing mistakes as failures and start viewing them as opportunities for growth. We learn to forgive ourselves, release shame, and honor our inherent worthiness. Why does self-compassion matter so much? Because how we treat ourselves shapes how we interact with the world. If we're harsh, critical, or overly demanding of ourselves, those attitudes spill over into our relationships. Conversely, when we nurture self-compassion, we create a reservoir of kindness that naturally flows outward, benefiting everyone around us. Think of it like oxygen masks on an airplane. You must secure your own mask before assisting others. Similarly, filling yourself with compassion enables you to give more freely and authentically to others. So how do we cultivate self-compassion? One powerful tool is mindfulness. By observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we develop greater awareness of our inner landscape. For example, notice when you're engaging in negative self-talk, those critical voices that whisper, you're not good enough, or you should have done better. Instead of believing these messages, challenge them gently. Ask yourself, would I say this to a friend? Probably not. Then why say it to myself? Replace self-criticism with affirmations of kindness and encouragement. Remind yourself that you're doing the best you can, given your circumstances, and that's enough. Another way to foster self-compassion is through self-care. Self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. It encompasses activities that nourish your body, mind, and spirit, such as eating nutritious food, getting adequate rest, exercising, journaling, or spending time in nature. But self-care also includes emotional practices like setting boundaries, saying no when needed, and allowing yourself to rest during difficult times. These acts communicate to yourself that you matter, that your needs are valid and deserving of attention. Now let's expand our focus beyond ourselves to include compassion for others. Compassion bridges divides, dissolves hostility, and fosters connection. It reminds us that every person we encounter carries their own burdens, joys, fears, and dreams. Even those who irritate, frustrate, or anger us are navigating complex lives filled with challenges we may never fully understand. When we approach others with compassion, we soften our hearts and open ourselves to deeper relationships. Practicing compassion for others starts with empathy, the ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. Empathy requires listening deeply without interrupting or jumping to conclusions. It means suspending judgment and resisting the urge to fix problems immediately. Sometimes people don't need solutions, they need to feel seen and heard. Offering a compassionate ear can be incredibly healing, both for the speaker and the listener. Compassionate action takes many forms depending on the situation. It could involve lending a helping hand to a neighbor, volunteering in your community, or simply smiling at a stranger. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, ripple outward, creating waves of positivity. Research shows that performing kind deeds boosts happiness levels, not just for recipients, but also for givers. This phenomenon, known as the helper's high, underscores the interconnectedness of compassion and joy. One traditional Buddhist practice designed to cultivate compassion is called metta meditation or loving-kindness meditation. During metta, you silently repeat phrases of goodwill toward yourself and others, such as, "May I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be free from suffering." Then you extend these wishes outward to loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even difficult individuals. Over time, this practice softens resentment, expands your capacity for forgiveness, and strengthens feelings of universal connection. You begin to see all beings as deserving of love and kindness, regardless of their actions or beliefs. Of course, practicing compassion isn't always easy. There will be days when you feel depleted, overwhelmed, or resentful. That's okay. Compassion isn't about perfection, it's about effort. Even small gestures count. A kind word, a patient response, or a moment of presence can make a significant difference. Remember too that compassion extends to setting boundaries when necessary. Saying no to protect your energy isn't unkind, it's responsible. True compassion balances giving with receiving, ensuring sustainability for both parties. Let's delve into some practical strategies for integrating compassion into your daily life. First, try keeping a gratitude journal specifically focused on human connections. Each day, write down 3 things you appreciate about someone in your life, a family member, friend, colleague, or even a passerby. Reflecting on positive qualities helps shift your perspective, fostering appreciation and goodwill. Second, engage in random acts of kindness. These don't need to be grand gestures. Simple actions like holding the door open for someone, leaving a generous tip, or sending a thoughtful text message can brighten someone's day. Pay attention to how these acts affect not only the recipient, but also your own mood and sense of purpose. Third, practice reframing conflicts through the lens of compassion. The next time you find yourself in disagreement with someone, pause and consider their point of view. What fears, insecurities, or desires might underlie their behavior? This shift in perspective doesn't excuse harmful actions, but it promotes understanding and reduces animosity. From this place of clarity, you can address issues constructively, fostering resolution rather than escalation. Fourth, incorporate mindfulness into conversations. When speaking with others, give them your full attention. Put away distractions like phones or laptops, maintain eye contact, and listen actively. Notice non-verbal cues like facial expressions and tone of voice, which often convey more than words alone. Mindful communication builds trust and deepens rapport. Finally, remember that compassion includes celebrating others' successes. In a competitive world, it's tempting to compare ourselves unfavorably to those who seem more accomplished or fortunate. However, jealousy erodes compassion, creating separation instead of unity. Counteract envy by genuinely rejoicing in others' achievements. Recognize that their triumphs don't diminish yours. In fact, they enrich the collective tapestry of human experience. As we conclude this exploration of compassion, I invite you to reflect on its transformative power. Compassion heals wounds, mends broken relationships, and inspires hope. It reminds us of our shared humanity, transcending differences and fostering unity. Whether directed inward or outward, compassion has the potential to change lives, including your own. Carry this teaching forward. Compassion is a choice, a practice, and ultimately a way of being. It begins with a single step, a decision to meet suffering with love instead of fear. As you move through your day, look for opportunities to embody compassion. Offer patience to a struggling coworker, extend grace to a child throwing a tantrum, or simply place a hand over your heart and remind yourself, I am worthy of love and kindness. By doing so, you contribute to a more compassionate world. One moment, one interaction, one heartbeat at a time. Chapter 5. Letting Go of Judgment. One of the most pervasive habits we carry as humans is judgment. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to sleep, our minds are constantly evaluating, comparing, and labeling everything around us, and often ourselves most harshly of all. While judgment can serve a practical purpose in decision-making, it frequently becomes a source of unnecessary suffering, creating walls between us and others, and even within ourselves. In this chapter, we'll explore why letting go of judgment is so crucial for inner peace, how judgment manifests in our lives, and how we can cultivate a mindset of non-judgment that fosters greater compassion, acceptance, and freedom. To understand the importance of releasing judgment, let's first examine what judgment actually is. Judgment occurs when we assign value, good or bad, right or wrong, to people, situations, actions, or outcomes. On the surface, this seems harmless. After all, discernment is essential for navigating life effectively. For example, deciding whether food is safe to eat or determining if someone's behavior aligns with your values requires some level of evaluation. However, judgment becomes problematic when it turns into a rigid framework that limits our ability to see things clearly. Instead of observing reality as it is, we filter it through preconceived notions, biases, and expectations, distorting our perception and closing us off from new possibilities. Judgment doesn't just affect external circumstances, it also shapes how we relate to ourselves. Many of us live under a relentless internal critic, constantly scrutinizing our appearance, abilities, choices, and worthiness. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I should have done better? Why did I say that? It was so stupid. Or, if only I was smarter, thinner, more successful. These self-critical thoughts stem from judgment, and they create a toxic cycle of dissatisfaction and self-doubt. Over time, this habit erodes our confidence, stifles creativity, and prevents us from embracing who we truly are. The same dynamic plays out in our relationships with others. When we judge someone, whether silently or aloud, we reduce them to a label, ignoring their complexity and humanity. For instance, imagine encountering a coworker who consistently interrupts during meetings. Your immediate reaction might be to label them as rude, selfish, or unprofessional. But what happens when you pause and consider alternative explanations? Perhaps they're eager to contribute because they feel undervalued. Maybe they struggle with social cues due to anxiety or cultural differences. By jumping to judgment, you miss the opportunity to understand their perspective and build a deeper connection. Worse still, judgment breeds division, fostering resentment and alienation rather than empathy and collaboration. So how do we begin to let go of judgment? The first step is awareness. Judgment operates largely on autopilot, lurking beneath the surface of our thoughts. To dismantle it, we must shine a light on its mechanisms. Start by noticing when judgment arises. Pay attention to the language you use, both internally and externally. Words like should, always, never, and wrong often signal judgmental thinking. Similarly, observe any tendency to categorize people or experiences as wholly good or bad. Once you become aware of these patterns, you can start challenging them. Mindfulness is an invaluable tool for cultivating non-judgment. Through mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without attaching to them. When a judgmental thought arises, for example, this person is annoying, instead of believing it or reacting to it, simply acknowledge its presence. There's a judgment. Then gently redirect your focus to the present moment, perhaps by tuning into your breath or noticing sensory details in your environment. This practice creates distance between you and your judgments, allowing you to respond consciously rather than react impulsively. Another key aspect of letting go of judgment is embracing curiosity. Curiosity invites us to approach life with an open mind, seeking understanding rather than rushing to conclusions. Instead of dismissing someone based on a single trait or action, ask yourself, what might be driving their behavior? What experiences or challenges might they be facing? This shift in perspective transforms judgment into inquiry, paving the way for empathy and connection. Let's delve deeper into how judgment affects specific areas of life. Consider your relationship with your body, a common battleground for judgment. Society bombards us with unrealistic standards of beauty, fitness, and health, fueling dissatisfaction and shame. Many people spend years criticizing their reflection in the mirror, wishing they could change some aspect of themselves, yet no amount of self-criticism will bring lasting satisfaction. True acceptance comes not from achieving perfection, but from recognizing your body's inherent dignity and resilience. Practice gratitude for what your body allows you to do. Walk, breathe, laugh, hug, and release the need to measure up to arbitrary ideals. Similarly, judgment often infiltrates our work and creative pursuits. Perfectionism, a close cousin of judgment, can paralyze productivity and stifle innovation. When every idea feels inadequate or every draft seems flawed, it's easy to give up before you've even begun. Letting go of judgment means embracing imperfection as part of the process. Remind yourself that mistakes are stepping stones, not failures. Each misstep teaches you something valuable, bringing you closer to mastery. Celebrate progress, however small, and trust that growth unfolds over time. Now let's address one of the trickiest forms of judgment, moral judgment. Humans naturally seek to distinguish right from wrong, but rigid moral frameworks can lead to hypocrisy and exclusion. For example, condemning someone for breaking a rule while excusing similar behavior in ourselves reveals double standards rooted in ego and fear. True morality transcends black and white thinking, acknowledging the gray areas where most of life unfolds. Practicing non-judgment means holding space for nuance, recognizing that context matters and that everyone, including ourselves, is doing the best they can given their circumstances. Letting go of judgment also applies to how we view success and failure. We live in a results-driven culture that equates achievement with worthiness. Yet, this mindset sets us up for perpetual disappointment, since outcomes are rarely entirely within our control. Instead of fixating on results, focus on intentions and effort. Did you act with integrity? Did you give your best? If so, then you've succeeded, regardless of external validation. Non-judgment frees us from the tyranny of comparison, enabling us to define success on our own terms. Compassion plays a vital role in releasing judgment. When we extend kindness to ourselves and others, we soften the sharp edges of criticism. Imagine responding to a mistake, not with anger or frustration, but with gentle encouragement. It's okay, you're learning. Or offering reassurance to someone struggling. You're not alone, we all make errors sometimes. Compassion reminds us that imperfection is universal, bridging gaps created by judgment. Practicing non-judgment isn't about suppressing opinions or denying discernment. It's about approaching life with humility, openness, and grace. Here are some practical strategies to help you integrate non-judgment into your daily routine. Label-free language. Notice how often you describe people or situations using labels like lazy, stupid, or hopeless. Replace these words with neutral observations. For example, instead of saying, "That driver is reckless," try, "They seem distracted." Pause before reacting. When you feel triggered by someone's words or actions, take a deep breath before responding. Ask yourself, is my reaction based on facts or assumptions? Could there be another explanation? Practice loving kindness. Meditation. As mentioned earlier, metta-meditation helps dissolve barriers of judgment by fostering unconditional love. Extend wishes of happiness and peace to yourself, loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even difficult individuals. Challenge assumptions. Whenever you find yourself making snap judgments, question their validity. Are you basing your assessment on evidence, or are you projecting your fears or biases onto the situation? Focus on common humanity. Remember that everyone shares the same fundamental desires to be happy, loved, and free from suffering. This realization dissolves feelings of separation and fosters solidarity. Celebrate diversity. Judgment thrives on uniformity, insisting that there's only one right way to think, look, or live. Counteract this narrow-mindedness by appreciating the richness of human diversity. Seek out stories, perspectives, and experiences different from your own. Reflect on impermanence. Judgment often fixes things in place, treating temporary states as permanent truths. Remind yourself that everything changes, including people, situations, and emotions. This awareness loosens the grip of judgment, allowing you to flow with life's natural rhythms. As we conclude this exploration of letting go of judgment, I invite you to embrace non-judgment as a lifelong practice. Like mindfulness or compassion, it requires patience, persistence, and self-forgiveness. There will be moments when judgment sneaks back in. That's normal. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. Each time you catch yourself judging and choose to let it go, you strengthen your capacity for acceptance and understanding. Non-judgment liberates us from the confines of expectation, enabling us to experience life fully and authentically. It opens doors to deeper connections, richer experiences, and greater peace. Whether directed inward or outward, non-judgment has the power to transform not only our individual lives, but also the world around us. After all, a non-judgmental heart is a compassionate heart, one that welcomes all beings with warmth and inclusivity. Carry this teaching forward. Judgment narrows our vision, while non-judgment expands it. By choosing to see beyond labels and limitations, we step into a wider, kinder reality, one where everyone belongs and every moment holds potential. As you move through your day, notice when judgment arises and gently invite curiosity and compassion to take its place. In doing so, you embody the wisdom of non-judgment, creating a ripple effect of positivity and harmony. Chapter 6. Gratitude as a path to inner peace. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices we can adopt in our lives. It's simple, accessible, and profoundly powerful. Yet many of us overlook its potential to shift our perspective, heal our hearts, and deepen our connection to the world around us. In this chapter, we'll explore gratitude in depth, what it truly means, why it matters so much for well-being, and how you can cultivate it as a daily habit that enriches every aspect of your life. At its core, gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's an attitude, a way of seeing and experiencing life through the lens of appreciation. Gratitude invites us to focus on what we have rather than what we lack, on blessings instead of burdens. When practiced consistently, it rewires our brains, shifting us away from negativity bias, the tendency to dwell on problems and shortcomings, and toward a mindset of abundance and contentment. The shift doesn't mean ignoring difficulties or pretending everything is perfect. Rather, it means choosing to notice and honor the good, even amidst challenges. Why does gratitude hold such immense power? The answer lies in its ability to anchor us in the present moment, while fostering resilience and joy. Studies show that people who regularly practice gratitude report higher levels of happiness, lower rates of depression, and stronger relationships. They also tend to sleep better, cope with stress more effectively, and recover faster from adversity. These benefits arise because gratitude activates positive emotions like love, hope, and optimism, which counterbalance fear, anger, and despair. Over time, cultivating gratitude strengthens neural pathways associated with positivity, making it easier to access feelings of peace and fulfillment. To truly understand gratitude, let's first distinguish it from obligation or politeness. Expressing thanks out of duty, such as thanking someone reflexively after receiving a gift, isn't the same as feeling genuine gratitude. True gratitude arises spontaneously when we recognize the value of something or someone in our lives. It's heartfelt and authentic, stemming from a place of deep appreciation. For example, imagine savoring a warm cup of tea on a cold morning. Instead of taking it for granted, pause to acknowledge the effort behind it. The farmers who grew the leaves, the workers who packaged them, the water that brewed it, and the hands that prepared it. By widening your awareness in this way, you transform a mundane act into a sacred moment. Now, let's talk about how gratitude manifests in different areas of life. One of the most immediate places to start is with everyday experiences. Consider the small pleasures that often go unnoticed. Sunlight streaming through a window, birdsong outside your door, a kind word from a stranger. These moments are fleeting treasures, yet they carry immense beauty if we take the time to notice them. Practicing gratitude for these ordinary wonders helps us slow down and appreciate life's richness, grounding us in the here and now. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in relationships. When we express appreciation for others, whether through words, gestures, or actions, we strengthen bonds and create a sense of mutual respect. Think about how it feels when someone genuinely thanks you for something you've done. Their acknowledgement affirms your worth and motivates you to continue giving. Conversely, failing to express gratitude can leave others feeling undervalued or unseen. Cultivating a habit of gratitude within relationships fosters reciprocity, trust, and intimacy. Another powerful application of gratitude is in reframing challenges. Life inevitably brings hardships, loss, illness, disappointment, but gratitude allows us to find meaning and growth even in difficult times. For instance, imagine going through a breakup. While the pain may feel overwhelming, reflecting on what the relationship taught you about love, communication, or self-awareness can help you process it constructively. Similarly, during periods of financial struggle, focusing on non-material blessings like health, friendships, or personal strengths can provide comfort and perspective. Gratitude doesn't erase suffering, but it softens its edges, reminding us that light exists alongside darkness. So how do we cultivate gratitude in our daily lives? One effective method is keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 to 5 things you're thankful for. These could range from big milestones, like landing a new job, to tiny joys, like the smell of fresh flowers. Be specific and detailed. Instead of writing, "I'm grateful for my family," try, "I'm grateful for the laughter I shared with my sister over dinner last night." Over time, this practice trains your brain to scan for positives, gradually rewiring your default outlook to one of abundance. Another technique is practicing gratitude meditation. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Bring to mind someone or something you're grateful for, a loved one, a supportive colleague, a favorite hobby. Visualize them clearly, allowing feelings of warmth and appreciation to fill your heart. Silently repeat phrases like, "Thank you for being part of my life," or "I appreciate all that you bring." Extend this gratitude outward, imagining it radiating to others and the world at large. This visualization amplifies the emotional impact of gratitude, creating a ripple effect of positivity. Verbal expressions of gratitude are equally important. Make it a point to thank people sincerely and specifically. Instead of a generic thanks, say, "I really appreciate how you helped me with that project. It made such a difference." Or leave a note of appreciation for someone who inspires you. These acts of kindness not only brighten someone else's day, but also reinforce your own sense of connection and purpose. Nature offers another profound avenue for cultivating gratitude. Spending time outdoors, whether hiking in the woods, walking along a beach, or simply sitting under a tree, reminds us of the interconnectedness of all life. Notice the intricate patterns of leaves, the vastness of the sky, the rhythm of waves crashing against the shore. Reflect on how these elements sustain existence, including yours. Nature humbles us, evoking awe and reverence that naturally lead to gratitude. Let's delve deeper into some practical strategies for integrating gratitude into your routine. First, incorporate gratitude into transitions throughout your day. For example, before meals, pause to give thanks for the food in front of you, not just for its taste, but for the entire chain of events that brought it to your plate. Before bed, reflect on the highlights of your day, no matter how small. This ritual sets a positive tone for sleep and primes your mind for restorative dreams. Second, use technology mindfully to amplify gratitude. Set reminders on your phone to pause and reflect on something you're thankful for. Share uplifting posts or messages with friends and family, spreading gratitude virally. Apps designed for gratitude journaling or affirmations can also help keep you accountable and inspired. Third, reframe complaints into opportunities for gratitude. When faced with frustration, say waiting in line at the grocery store, shift your focus to what's working well. Perhaps the cashier is friendly, or you're fortunate to have access to nutritious food. This subtle shift redirects energy away from irritation and toward appreciation. Fourth, practice gratitude for challenges as well as successes. Every obstacle carries lessons, even if they're not immediately apparent. Ask yourself, what am I learning from this experience? How might it contribute to my growth? Framing difficulties as teachers rather than enemies transforms them into stepping stones. Finally, embrace gratitude as a spiritual practice. Many traditions view gratitude as a form of devotion, an acknowledgement of the divine presence in all things. Whether you identify as religious, spiritual, or secular, gratitude connects you to something larger than yourself. It reminds you that you're part of a vast web of interdependence, sustained by countless forces beyond your control. As we conclude this exploration of gratitude, I invite you to make it a cornerstone of your daily life. Like mindfulness or compassion, gratitude is a muscle that grows stronger with use. Start small. One heartfelt expression of thanks, one moment of mindful appreciation, and watch how it expands over time. Gratitude has a cumulative effect, building momentum until it becomes second nature. Remember, gratitude isn't reserved for extraordinary moments. It thrives in the ordinary. A sunrise, a smile, a kind gesture, all carry infinite value if we choose to see them that way. By embracing gratitude, we align ourselves with life's inherent goodness, finding peace and joy in the simplest things. Carry this teaching forward. Gratitude is always available to you regardless of circumstances. Even in the darkest times, there is light to be found, if only we look for it. As you move through your day, train your mind to notice beauty, kindness, and wonder wherever they appear. Let gratitude guide you back to the present moment, where life unfolds in all its fullness and grace. Chapter 7. Patience as a pillar of inner peace. Patience is one of the most underrated virtues in our fast-paced, instant gratification world. We live in an era where everything, from information to food delivery, is available at the click of a button. Yet, despite this convenience, impatience has become a pervasive habit, fueling stress, frustration, and dissatisfaction. In this chapter, we'll explore why patience is essential for inner peace, how it manifests in different aspects of life, and how you can cultivate it as a practice that brings clarity, resilience, and harmony. To begin, let's clarify what patience truly means. Patience isn't about passively waiting or suppressing emotions. It's about embracing the present moment with calmness and trust, even when circumstances feel challenging or uncertain. It's the ability to endure difficulties without reacting impulsively, to give things time to unfold naturally, and to remain grounded in the face of delays or setbacks. Patience doesn't mean resigning yourself to discomfort. It means recognizing that some processes require time and effort, and that rushing them often leads to unnecessary suffering. At its core, patience is deeply tied to acceptance, an understanding that life unfolds according to its own rhythm, not ours. This perspective aligns closely with the Buddhist teaching of impermanence, which reminds us that change is constant and inevitable. When we resist the natural flow of events, we create tension within ourselves. Patience invites us to surrender that resistance, trusting that every situation, whether joyful or painful, will eventually evolve into something new. Why does patience matter so much? Because impatience is a major source of stress and conflict in our lives. Think about how often you felt irritated while stuck in traffic, frustrated by slow internet speeds, or annoyed when someone takes longer than expected to respond to your message. These reactions stem from impatience, a desire for immediate results or control over outcomes. But when we allow impatience to dominate, we lose sight of the bigger picture. Small inconveniences loom large, overshadowing moments of beauty and connection. Cultivating patience helps us step back from these knee-jerk reactions, enabling us to approach life with greater equanimity. Let's examine how patience plays out in various areas of life. One of the most common arenas for impatience is personal growth. Many people embark on journeys of self-improvement, whether learning a skill, adopting healthier habits, or pursuing spiritual practices with high expectations for quick results. When progress feels slow or elusive, frustration sets in, leading some to abandon their efforts altogether. But true growth requires time, consistency, and perseverance. Like a tree growing from a seed, transformation happens incrementally, often beneath the surface, before visible changes emerge. Patience allows us to honor this process, celebrating small victories along the way and trusting that steady effort yields lasting results. Patience also plays a vital role in relationships. Misunderstandings, conflicts, and disagreements are inevitable in any close connection, but impatience exacerbates these challenges. For example, imagine trying to resolve an argument with a loved one while feeling rushed or irritated. Your impatience may cause you to interrupt, raise your voice, or shut down entirely, all of which hinder effective communication. Conversely, approaching the conversation with patience creates space for listening, empathy, and mutual understanding. By giving yourself and others time to express thoughts and emotions fully, you foster deeper connections and more meaningful resolutions. In professional settings, patience is equally important. Deadlines, demanding clients, and competitive environments can test our ability to stay composed under pressure. Impatience in these contexts often leads to poor decision-making, strained collaborations, and burnout. Practicing patience means acknowledging that complex projects take time, that colleagues have their own strengths and limitations, and that setbacks are opportunities for learning rather than failures to be punished. Leaders who embody patience inspire trust and loyalty, creating environments where creativity and innovation thrive. Now, let's delve into how patience applies to emotional regulation, one of its most transformative benefits. Emotions are fleeting by nature, yet we often cling to them, amplifying their intensity and duration. Impatience with unpleasant feelings like sadness, anger, or fear can trap us in cycles of rumination and reactivity. Patience, on the other hand, teaches us to sit with our emotions without judgment, allowing them to rise and fall naturally. This practice builds emotional resilience, empowering us to navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. Cultivating patience begins with mindfulness. By observing our thoughts and sensations in the present moment, we develop awareness of impatience as it arises. Notice the physical signs: tightness in your chest, clenched fists, shallow breathing that signal frustration or irritation. Instead of acting on these impulses, pause and breathe deeply. Remind yourself that impatience is a temporary state, not a permanent condition. This simple act of awareness creates distance between you and your reactions, giving you the power to choose a calmer response. Another key aspect of patience is reframing expectations. Much of our impatience stems from unrealistic demands we place on ourselves, others, and situations. For instance, expecting a project to run flawlessly despite limited resources, or assuming a friend will always reply, instantly sets us up for disappointment. Instead, adopt a mindset of flexibility and adaptability. Recognize that perfection is unattainable, and the delays or complications are part of the human experience. By adjusting your expectations to align with reality, you reduce unnecessary stress and open yourself to unexpected possibilities. Gratitude complements patience beautifully, reinforcing its effect. When we focus on what's going well instead of fixating on what's lacking, we cultivate contentment and reduce the urge to rush. For example, if you're waiting for an important email, redirect your attention to tasks you can accomplish in the meantime. Express gratitude for the opportunity to complete those tasks, knowing they contribute to your overall productivity. This shift in focus transforms idle time into valuable moments, easing the weight of anticipation. Let's explore some practical strategies for integrating patience into your daily life. First, start with small, manageable challenges. Choose a task that typically triggers impatience, like standing in line at the grocery store or waiting for a web page to load, and commit to staying calm throughout. Use the extra time to observe your surroundings, practice deep breathing, or mentally recite affirmations like, "I am patient," or "This too shall pass." Over time, these micro-practices strengthen your ability to handle larger frustrations with grace. Second, set realistic timelines for goals and projects. Break big tasks into smaller, incremental steps and celebrate each milestone along the way. This approach prevents overwhelm and reinforces the value of steady progress over hasty completion. Remember, quality often requires time and attention to detail. Third, practice active listening in conversations. Instead of interrupting or planning your next response, focus fully on what the other person is saying. Pay attention to their tone, body language, and underlying emotions. This habit not only improves communication but also models patience for others, fostering mutual respect and understanding. Fourth, embrace uncertainty as a teacher. Life rarely follows a straight path, and unpredictability is one of its defining features. Rather than resisting ambiguity, lean into it with curiosity and openness. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How might it prepare me for future challenges? Trust that answers will reveal themselves in due time. Fifth, draw inspiration from nature. Observe how plants grow steadily, weather patterns shift gradually, and seasons transition seamlessly. Nature operates on its own timetable, unaffected by human urgency. Reflect on these rhythms whenever you feel impatient, reminding yourself that everything has its season. Finally, use visualization techniques to reinforce patience. Close your eyes and imagine yourself navigating a challenging scenario, such as a delayed flight or a disagreement with a coworker, with calmness and poise. Picture yourself responding thoughtfully rather than reactively, maintaining composure even when tensions run high. Repeatedly practicing this mental rehearsal strengthens your capacity to embody patience in real-life situations. As we conclude this exploration of patience, I invite you to embrace it as a lifelong practice. Like mindfulness or compassion, patience isn't something you achieve once and then forget about. It's a continuous journey of growth and refinement. There will be days when impatience creeps back in. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. Each time you catch yourself rushing or reacting impulsively, gently remind yourself to slow down, breathe, and trust the process. Patience offers profound rewards: reduced stress, improved relationships, enhanced decision-making, and greater emotional resilience. It allows us to see beyond immediate frustrations, connecting us to the broader tapestry of life. Whether applied to personal development, interpersonal dynamics, or everyday inconveniences, patience fosters a sense of peace and purpose that transcends fleeting irritations. Carry this teaching forward. Patience is both a gift and a discipline. It asks us to trust in the unfolding of life, even when the path feels uncertain or arduous. As you move through your day, notice moments where impatience arises and consciously choose to meet them with calmness and grace. In doing so, you embody the wisdom of patience, creating a ripple effect of serenity and strength. Chapter 8. Forgiveness as Liberation. Forgiveness is one of the most profound yet challenging practices we can undertake. It has the power to heal wounds, release burdens, and restore inner peace, not just for others, but also for ourselves. Yet, despite its transformative potential, forgiveness often feels elusive, especially when we've been hurt deeply or betrayed by someone close to us. In this chapter, we'll explore what forgiveness truly means, why it's essential for emotional well-being, and how you can cultivate it as a practice that liberates your heart and mind. To begin, let's clarify what forgiveness is and what it isn't. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, excusing injustice, or pretending that pain never happened. It's not about reconciling with someone who continues to harm you or denying your right to feel anger, sadness, or betrayal. Instead, forgiveness is an act of liberation, a conscious decision to release resentment, bitterness, and the desire for revenge. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of carrying unresolved emotions, which can linger long after the initial hurt has passed. At its core, forgiveness is an act of self-care. When we hold on to grudges, we bind ourselves to the past, reliving painful memories over and over again. This cycle of rumination keeps us trapped in suffering, draining our energy and clouding our perspective. By choosing to forgive, we break free from this cycle, reclaiming our power and creating space for healing and growth. As the saying goes, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness allows us to set down the poison and step into a brighter, healthier future. Why does forgiveness matter so much? Because unresolved pain festers, manifesting as stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical illness. Studies show that harboring resentment increases cortisol levels, the hormone associated with stress, while forgiveness lowers them, promoting relaxation and overall well-being. Forgiveness also improves relationships, enhances empathy, and fosters resilience, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with greater ease. Ultimately, forgiveness isn't about the other person, it's about reclaiming your own peace of mind. Let's examine how forgiveness manifests in different areas of life. One of the most common contexts is interpersonal relationships. Whether it's a partner, family member, friend, or colleague, conflicts are inevitable. People make mistakes. They say hurtful things, act selfishly, or fail to meet expectations. While these actions may cause pain, holding on to resentment only prolongs the suffering. Forgiveness doesn't require reconciliation, it simply means letting go the emotional charge attached to the event, allowing you to move forward without being tethered to the past. Self-forgiveness is equally important, though often overlooked. Many people struggle with guilt or shame over their own perceived failures. whether it's a missed opportunity, a regrettable decision, or a mistake that harms someone else. Self-forgiveness involves acknowledging your humanity, recognizing that everyone makes errors, and committing to learn from them rather than dwell on them. When we forgive ourselves, we open the door to self-compassion, acceptance, and renewed purpose. Now let's delve into the process of forgiveness itself. Forgiveness isn't a single action, it's a journey that unfolds over time. It begins with awareness, noticing where you're holding on to resentment or anger. These emotions often hide beneath layers of denial or distraction, surfacing as irritability, fatigue, or general dissatisfaction. Once you identify the source of your pain, you can begin the work of releasing it. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in this process. By observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you create distance between yourself and your reactions. For example, if you find yourself replaying a hurtful memory or fantasizing about retaliation, pause and breathe deeply. Acknowledge the emotion, anger, sadness, fear, without attaching to it. Remind yourself that these feelings are temporary and don't define you. This practice softens the grip of resentment, making room for forgiveness to take root. Another key aspect of forgiveness is empathy. Empathy invites us to see situations from another person's perspective, fostering understanding and compassion. Consider the person who hurt you. What might they have been experiencing at the time? Were they acting out of fear, insecurity, or ignorance? This shift in perspective doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps humanize them, reducing the intensity of your negative emotions. Similarly, when forgiving yourself, reflect on the circumstances surrounding your actions. What pressures or limitations influenced your choices? Recognizing context can soften self-criticism and pave the way for self-forgiveness. Letting go of resentment requires courage and vulnerability. It means confronting pain head-on instead of avoiding it through distractions or denial. Journaling can be a powerful tool in this process. Write about the situation honestly, exploring your feelings and thoughts without censorship. Then, write a letter which you don't need to send, expressing forgiveness to the person who hurt you or to yourself. Use phrases like, "I forgive you for," or "I release the pain of." This exercise externalizes your emotions, helping you process and release them more effectively. Compassion amplifies forgiveness, transforming it from a solitary act into a shared experience. When we extend compassion to others, even those who've wronged us, we acknowledge our shared humanity. Everyone suffers, struggles, and makes mistakes. By choosing forgiveness, we align ourselves with universal values of love, kindness, and interconnectedness. This alignment fosters a sense of belonging and wholeness, reminding us that we're all part of the same tapestry of existence. Let's explore some practical strategies for integrating forgiveness into your daily life. First, start small. Identify a minor grievance, a disagreement with a co-worker, a slight inconvenience caused by someone else, and consciously choose to let it go. Practice saying to yourself, "This doesn't need to bother me anymore," or "I'm ready to release this." Over time, these small acts of forgiveness build momentum, strengthening your ability to tackle larger issues. Second, use visualization techniques to reinforce forgiveness. Close your eyes and imagine the person who hurt you or yourself standing before you. Picture them surrounded by light, symbolizing love and compassion. Silently repeat affirmations like, "I forgive you," "I release this pain," or "You are forgiven." Feel the weight lifting from your heart as you visualize the burden dissolving into the air. Third, incorporate forgiveness into mindfulness meditation. During your practice, bring to mind someone you need to forgive or yourself, and focus on sending loving kindness their way. Repeat phrases like, "May you be free from suffering," "May you find peace," or "May I forgive myself fully." This ritual cultivates a sense of connection and healing, deepening your capacity for forgiveness. Fourth, reframe forgiveness as a gift to yourself. Every time you choose to forgive, you unburden your heart, creating space for joy, gratitude, and love. Reflect on how forgiveness has positively impacted your life in the past, whether through improved relationships, reduced stress, or greater emotional freedom. Use these examples as motivation to continue practicing forgiveness, knowing that its benefits far outweigh the costs. Fifth, seek support when needed. Forgiveness can be difficult, especially in cases of deep trauma or betrayal. Talking to a trusted friend, therapist, or spiritual advisor can provide guidance and encouragement as you navigate the process. Sharing your story allows you to gain clarity, process emotions, and receive validation, reinforcing your commitment to healing. Finally, remember that forgiveness is a choice, one you can make repeatedly. There will be days when old wounds resurface, triggering familiar feelings of anger or sadness. That's okay. The goal isn't to erase memories or suppress emotions, but to respond to them with compassion and understanding. Each time you choose forgiveness, you strengthen your resilience and deepen your capacity for peace. As we conclude this exploration of forgiveness, I invite you to embrace it as a lifelong practice. Like mindfulness or compassion, forgiveness isn't something you achieve once and then forget about. It's a continuous journey of growth and transformation. There will be moments when forgiveness feels impossible. That's normal. Trust that every step you take toward letting go brings you closer to liberation. Forgiveness offers profound rewards: emotional healing, restored relationships, enhanced empathy, and lasting peace. It allows us to break free from the chains of resentment, stepping into a brighter, lighter version of ourselves. Whether directed inward or outward, forgiveness has the power to transform not only our individual lives but also the world around us. After all, a forgiving heart is a compassionate heart, one that welcomes all beings with warmth and inclusivity. Carry this teaching forward. Forgiveness is both a gift and a discipline. It asks us to confront pain with courage, to release resentment with grace, and to trust in the possibility of renewal. As you move through your day, notice moments where forgiveness is needed, whether for others or yourself, and consciously choose to meet them with openness and compassion. In doing so, you embody the wisdom of forgiveness, creating a ripple effect of healing and harmony. Chapter 9: Equanimity as a Foundation for Inner Peace. Equanimity is one of the most profound and stabilizing qualities we can cultivate in our lives. It's often described as a state of calmness, balance, and even-mindedness in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs. While it may sound like an unattainable ideal, equanimity is actually a skill, one that anyone can develop with practice. In this chapter, we'll explore what equanimity truly means, why it's essential for navigating life's challenges, and how you can integrate it into your daily life to foster resilience, clarity, and enduring peace. To begin, let's clarify what equanimity is and what it isn't. Equanimity doesn't mean being indifferent or detached from life's joys and sorrows. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending that difficult experiences don't matter. Instead, equanimity involves maintaining a steady inner composure regardless of external circumstances. It's the ability to remain centered, grounded, and compassionate, even when faced with adversity, loss, or uncertainty. Think of it as an anchor that keeps you stable amidst the turbulence of life's storms. At its core, equanimity arises from wisdom, the understanding that life is inherently unpredictable, and that clinging to pleasant experiences or resisting unpleasant ones only amplifies suffering. This perspective aligns closely with Buddhist teachings on impermanence and non-attachment. When we accept that everything changes, joy gives way to sorrow, success alternates with failure, we stop fighting reality and start working with it. Equanimity allows us to embrace life's fluctuations without being overwhelmed by them. Why does equanimity matter so much? Because life is full of highs and lows, and our reactions to these fluctuations often determine our level of happiness and well-being. Without equanimity, we're at the mercy of our emotions, swinging wildly between elation and despair depending on circumstances. But with equanimity, we create a buffer, a sense of spaciousness that helps us respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This steadiness not only reduces stress, but also enhances decision-making, strengthens relationships, and fosters a deeper connection to ourselves and the world around us. Let's examine how equanimity manifests in different areas of life. One of the most common arenas for cultivating equanimity is personal challenges. Whether it's dealing with a health issue, navigating financial instability, or coping with the loss of a loved one, life throws curveballs that test our emotional resilience. In moments like these, equanimity becomes a lifeline. Instead of succumbing to panic, anger, or despair, we learn to meet difficulties with grace and fortitude. We acknowledge the pain without letting it consume us, trusting that even the darkest times will eventually pass. Equanimity also plays a vital role in relationships. Human connections are inherently complex, filled with moments of joy, conflict, misunderstanding, and growth. When we approach these dynamics with equanimity, we reduce reactivity and increase empathy. For example, imagine having a disagreement with a partner or colleague. Without equanimity, you might lash out in frustration or withdraw in silence, escalating tension. But with equanimity, you remain calm and present, listening deeply and responding with care. This balanced approach fosters mutual understanding and strengthens bonds. In professional settings, equanimity is equally important. High-pressure environments, whether in business, healthcare, education, or creative fields, can trigger stress, burnout, and conflict. Practicing equanimity means staying composed under pressure, maintaining focus on long-term goals rather than short-term setbacks, and treating colleagues with respect and fairness. Leaders who embody equanimity inspire confidence and trust, creating cultures where collaboration and innovation thrive. Now, let's delve into how equanimity applies to emotional regulation, one of its most transformative benefits. Emotions are natural and valuable signals, but they can easily spiral out of control if left unchecked. Fear, anger, jealousy, and sadness often arise unexpectedly, clouding judgment and fueling impulsive actions. Equanimity teaches us to observe these emotions without identifying with them, creating distance between ourselves and our reactions. By doing so, we gain the freedom to choose how we respond, rather than being swept away by the tide of feelings. Cultivating equanimity begins with mindfulness. By observing our thoughts, sensations, and emotions in the present moment, we develop awareness of their transient nature. Notice how quickly moods shift from irritation to calm, from excitement to boredom. Instead of attaching to these states, remind yourself that they're temporary. This simple act of observation creates space between stimulus and response, giving you the power to act consciously rather than react automatically. Another key aspect of equanimity is reframing expectations. Much of our emotional turmoil stems from rigid demands we place on ourselves, others, and situations. For instance, expecting every day to go perfectly or assuming people will always behave predictably sets us up for disappointment. Instead, adopt a mindset of flexibility and acceptance. Recognize that imperfection is part of the human experience and that challenges are opportunities for growth. By adjusting your expectations to align with the reality, you reduce unnecessary suffering and open yourself to unexpected possibilities. Compassion complements equanimity beautifully, reinforcing its effects. When we extend kindness to ourselves and others, even in difficult situations, we soften the sharp edges of judgment and criticism. For example, if someone makes a mistake at work, instead of reacting with frustration, offer support and encouragement. Similarly, if you falter in achieving a goal, treat yourself with gentleness and understanding. Compassion reminds us that everyone is doing the best they can given their circumstances, fostering a sense of unity and shared humanity. Let's explore some practical strategies for integrating equanimity into your daily life. First, start with breath awareness. The breath is always with us, serving as a reliable anchor to the present moment. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or reactive, pause and take a few deep breaths. Feel the air entering and leaving your body, noticing its rhythm and texture. This simple practice calms the nervous system, grounding you in the here and now. Second, practice labeling emotions. When strong feelings arise, whether positive or negative, name them silently to yourself. This is fear. This is excitement. This is frustration. Labeling creates distance, helping you observe emotions objectively rather than getting caught up in them. Over time, this habit builds emotional intelligence and resilience. Third, use visualization techniques to reinforce equanimity. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing firmly on solid ground, like a mountain rooted in the earth. Picture yourself surrounded by waves representing life's challenges that crash against you but never knock you over. Silently repeat affirmations like, "I am steady, I am balanced," or "I remain calm no matter what happens." This exercise cultivates a sense of stability and strength, preparing you to face adversity with poise. Fourth, reflect on impermanence regularly. Remind yourself that all experiences, whether joyful or painful, are temporary. Use reminders like sticky notes, alarms, or meditation prompts to pause throughout the day and acknowledge this too shall pass. This perspective softens attachment to outcomes, reducing anxiety and fostering acceptance. Fifth, draw inspiration from role models who embody equanimity. Think of individuals, historical figures, spiritual teachers, or people in your own life who demonstrate calmness, wisdom, and compassion in challenging situations. Reflect on their qualities and consider how you might incorporate similar traits into your own behavior. Modeling yourself after such examples reinforces your commitment to cultivating equanimity. Finally, use gratitude to amplify equanimity. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, creating a sense of contentment and perspective. Even in difficult times, there are always blessings to be found: a supportive friend, a roof over your head, a moment of laughter. By practicing gratitude, you cultivate a mindset of abundance, making it easier to maintain equanimity in the face of adversity. As we conclude this exploration of equanimity, I invite you to embrace it as a lifelong practice. Like mindfulness or compassion, equanimity isn't something you achieve once and then forget about. It's a continuous journey of growth and refinement. There will be days when reactivity creeps back in. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection, but progress. Each time you catch yourself losing balance, gently remind yourself to return to center, breathe deeply, and trust in your capacity to weather life's storms. Equanimity offers profound rewards: reduced stress, enhanced resilience, improved relationships, and lasting peace. It allows us to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and courage, connecting us to a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. Whether applied to personal challenges, interpersonal dynamics, or everyday inconveniences, equanimity fosters a sense of calm and clarity that transcends fleeting disturbances. Carry this teaching forward. Equanimity is both a refuge and a discipline. It asks us to trust in our ability to endure life's fluctuations while remaining steadfast in our commitment to compassion and wisdom. As you move through your day, notice moments where equanimity is needed, whether in response to stress, conflict, or change, and consciously choose to meet them with balance and grace. In doing so, you embody the wisdom of equanimity, creating a ripple effect of serenity and strength. Chapter 10. Interconnectedness as a Path to Wholeness. Interconnectedness is one of the most profound and transformative teachings in Buddhism, and indeed in all spiritual traditions. It reminds us that we are not isolated beings, but part of an intricate web of life, deeply connected to every person, creature, and element around us. This understanding has the power to shift how we see ourselves, others, and the world, fostering a sense of unity, responsibility, and compassion. In this final chapter, we'll explore what interconnectedness truly means, why it's essential for inner peace, and how you can cultivate it as a practice that enriches your daily life. To begin, let's clarify what interconnectedness is and what it isn't. Interconnectedness doesn't mean losing your individuality or dissolving into a collective consciousness. Instead, it acknowledges that while we are unique individuals, we exist within a vast network of relationships. Every action we take ripples outward, affecting others in ways both visible and unseen. Similarly, everything we experience, every breath we take, every meal we eat, every word we hear, is made possible by countless factors beyond our control. Recognizing this truth humbles us, reminding us that we're supported and sustained by forces far greater than ourselves. At its core, interconnectedness is rooted in the principle of dependent origination, pratityasamutpada, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy. This teaching explains that nothing arises independently. Everything depends on causes and conditions. For example, consider a tree. Its existence relies on sunlight, soil, water, air, and the seeds planted by previous generations. Without these elements, the tree couldn't grow. Similarly, our lives depend on countless interdependent factors, from the farmers who grow our food to the ecosystems that purify our air and water. Understanding this mutual dependence helps us appreciate the delicate balance of life and inspires us to act with care and reverence. Why does interconnectedness matter so much? Because modern society often fosters a sense of separation, an illusion that we're self-sufficient and independent. We live in silos, prioritizing personal gain over communal well-being, and often viewing others as competitors rather than collaborators. This mindset leads to isolation, conflict, and environmental degradation. By embracing interconnectedness, we dissolve these artificial barriers, recognizing that harming others ultimately harms ourselves, and that helping others benefits everyone, including us. Let's examine how interconnectedness manifests in different areas of life. One of the most immediate contexts is relationships. Whether with family, friends, colleagues, or strangers, every interaction shapes and reflects the web of connection. A kind word can brighten someone's day, while a harsh comment can leave lasting scars. Even small gestures, like holding a door open or offering a smile, create ripples of positivity that extend far beyond the moment. When we approach relationships with awareness of their interconnected nature, we naturally become more empathetic, patient, and compassionate. Interconnectedness also applies to our relationship with the planet. The Earth provides everything we need to survive: food, water, shelter, beauty. But too often we treat it as a resource to exploit rather than a partner to nurture. Climate change, deforestation, pollution, and species extinction are symptoms of a disconnection from the natural world. By embracing interconnectedness, we recognize that harming the environment harms humanity itself. Sustainable practices, such as reducing waste, conserving energy, supporting eco-friendly businesses, and advocating for systemic change, are expressions of gratitude and responsibility toward the planet that sustains us. Now, let's delve into how interconnectedness influences personal growth. Many people view success as a solo endeavor, focusing solely on individual achievements. But true fulfillment comes not from standing apart, but from contributing to something larger than ourselves. Whether through volunteering, mentoring, creating art, or simply being present for loved ones, acts of service remind us that our value lies not in what we accumulate, but in what we give. Interconnectedness inspires us to align our actions with values like kindness, generosity, and stewardship, knowing that every effort contributes to the greater good. Cultivating interconnectedness begins with mindfulness. By observing the details of everyday life, we develop a deeper appreciation for the myriad connections that sustain us. For example, when eating a meal, reflect on the journey of each ingredient: the hands that planted, harvested, transported, and prepared it. When walking outdoors, notice the interplay of sun, wind, plants, and animals that create the ecosystem around you. These moments of awareness awaken gratitude and humility, reinforcing the truth of our interdependence. Another key aspect of interconnectedness is empathy. Empathy invites us to see situations from another's perspective, fostering understanding and compassion. Consider the challenges faced by marginalized communities, endangered species, or future generations. While their struggles may seem distant, they're intrinsically linked to our own well-being. By expanding our circle of concern to include all beings, we strengthen the bonds of connection and inspire collective action. Loving-kindness meditation. Metta is a powerful tool for cultivating interconnectedness. During this practice, you silently repeat phrases of goodwill toward yourself, loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even difficult individuals. Over time, this ritual softens resentment, expands your capacity for forgiveness, and strengthens feelings of universal connection. You begin to see all beings as deserving of love and kindness, regardless of their actions or beliefs. This realization transforms fear and hostility into compassion and solidarity. Let's explore some practical strategies for integrating interconnectedness into your daily life. First, start with gratitude. Each morning or evening, reflect on the people, systems, and processes that support your existence. From the electricity powering your home to the healthcare workers ensuring your safety, countless contributions make modern life possible. Expressing gratitude for these gifts deepens your awareness of interconnectedness and motivates you to pay it forward. Second, engage in acts of service. Look for opportunities to help others, whether through formal volunteering, informal assistance, or random acts of kindness. Supporting a neighbor, tutoring a student, cleaning up a park, or donating to a cause you care about are tangible ways to honor the web of connection. These actions not only benefit recipients, but also reinforce your sense of belonging and purpose. Third, reduce harm in your daily choices. Examine your habits and behaviors, asking yourself, how do my actions affect others and the planet? Simple changes like using reusable bags, conserving water, buying locally sourced products, or reducing meat consumption can have a significant impact. Every choice is a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. Fourth, practice active listening in conversations. Instead of interrupting or planning your next response, focus fully on what the other person is saying. Pay attention to their tone, body language, and underlying emotions. This habit fosters deeper connections and models interconnectedness for others, creating environments where collaboration and mutual respect thrive. Fifth, spend time in nature regularly. Nature is a living reminder of interconnectedness, demonstrating how all elements work together in harmony. Observe the intricate patterns of leaves, the symbiotic relationships between plants and pollinators, and the cycles of birth, growth, decay, and renewal. Reflect on your place within this grand tapestry, committing to protect and preserve it for future generations. Finally, use visualization techniques to reinforce interconnectedness. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as part of a vast, luminous web. Picture threads connecting you to loved ones, strangers, animals, plants, and the earth itself. Feel the flow of energy moving through these connections, sustaining and nourishing all beings. Silently repeat affirmations like, "We are all connected," "I am part of something greater," or "My actions matter." This exercise cultivates a sense of unity and belonging, inspiring you to live with greater awareness and intention. As we conclude this exploration of interconnectedness, I invite you to embrace it as a guiding principle for your life. Like mindfulness, compassion, and equanimity, interconnectedness isn't something you achieve once and then forget about. It's a continuous journey of awakening and alignment. There will be moments when old habits of separation creep back in. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection but progress. Each time you catch yourself acting from a place of isolation or selfishness, gently remind yourself of the web of connection that binds us all. Interconnectedness offers profound rewards, enhanced empathy, strengthened relationships, a deeper sense of purpose, and lasting peace. It allows us to transcend the illusion of separateness, stepping into a brighter, more inclusive vision of reality. Whether applied to personal growth, interpersonal dynamics, or global challenges, interconnectedness fosters a sense of wholeness and harmony that transcends individual concerns. carry this teaching forward. Interconnectedness is both a truth and a practice. It asks us to see ourselves as threads in a magnificent tapestry, woven together with infinite care and precision. As you move through your day, notice moments where interconnectedness reveals itself, whether in a shared smile, a gentle breeze, or a quiet moment of reflection, and consciously choose to honor the connections that sustain you. In doing so, you embody the wisdom of interconnectedness, creating a ripple effect of love, compassion, and unity. And so, dear friends, we arrive at the end of our journey together, a journey through 10 profound teachings from Buddhism that have the power to transform how we live, relate, and find peace within ourselves. As we bring this video to a close, I want to take a moment to reflect on what we've explored and invite you to carry these insights forward into your daily life. We began with impermanence, reminding us that everything changes, and that's okay. Change is the heartbeat of life, bringing both endings and beginnings, challenges and opportunities. By embracing impermanence, we learn to let go of clinging and open ourselves to the beauty of each fleeting moment. Next, we delved into non-attachment, discovering that love and appreciation don't require possession or control. Non-attachment frees us to engage fully with life while remaining flexible and unburdened by fear. Then came mindfulness, the practice of being present in every moment. Mindfulness teaches us to savor life's details, turning ordinary experiences into extraordinary ones. It anchors us in the here and now, reducing stress and deepening our connection to ourselves and the world around us. From there, we explored compassion for ourselves and others, a boundless love that heals wounds, bridges divides, and fosters unity. Compassion reminds us of our shared humanity, encouraging us to meet suffering with kindness rather than judgment. Letting go of judgment was another pivotal step. Judgment narrows our vision, creating walls between us and others. By releasing it, we expand our capacity for empathy, curiosity, and acceptance. Gratitude followed, showing us how to shift our focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into treasures, filling our hearts with joy and contentment. Patience taught us to trust the unfolding of life, honoring processes that cannot be rushed. With patience, we cultivate resilience, calmness, and grace in the face of delays and difficulties. Forgiveness liberated us from the weight of resentment, allowing us to heal old wounds and reclaim our peace of mind. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting, it's about freeing ourselves from the past so we can step fully into the present. Equanimity grounded us in balance, helping us navigate life's ups and downs with steadiness and poise. And finally, interconnectedness revealed the truth of our unity with all beings. Interconnectedness inspires us to act with care, responsibility, and compassion, knowing that every action ripples outward, shaping the world we share. These teachings are not just abstract ideas, they're tools you can use every day to create a life filled with meaning, joy, and peace. They remind us that inner peace doesn't come from external circumstances, but from the way we choose to see and respond to those circumstances. The beauty of these practices lies in their simplicity. You don't need special equipment, hours of free time, or advanced knowledge to begin. All you need is a willingness to try, to breathe deeply, observe mindfully, and open your heart. As you move forward, remember that transformation happens gradually. It's not about achieving perfection, but about making progress. Some days will feel easier than others, and that's okay. Be gentle with yourself. Celebrate small victories and trust that consistency over time yields profound results. These teachings are like seeds. Plant them in your heart, nurture them with attention and care, and watch as they grow into a garden of peace and wisdom. I also want to thank you for joining me on this exploration. Your presence here matters. It's a testament to your desire to live more fully, authentically, and harmoniously. Whether you're new to these concepts or revisiting them, know that you're part of a global community committed to growth, healing, and compassion. Together, we're weaving a tapestry of interconnectedness that spans far beyond this moment. Before we part ways, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Life is a gift, a precious, fleeting opportunity to love, learn, and contribute. Each breath you take is a chance to start anew, to embrace the present moment with gratitude and courage. So as you step away from this video, carry these teachings with you. Let them guide you when challenges arise, inspire you when hope feels distant, and remind you of the infinite potential within you. Take a deep breath with me now, one last time. Inhale peace, exhale tension. Hold it for a moment and release. Feel the stillness in your body, the quiet strength in your heart. Know that you are enough exactly as you are. You are worthy of love, belonging, and joy, and you are never alone. We are all connected, always. Thank you for being here today, for your openness, your curiosity, and your commitment to living a more mindful, compassionate life. Until next time, may you walk lightly, love deeply, and live fully. This has been the Mindful Zone. Be well and take care. Namaste.